Teachers in China are treated with more respect than anywhere else in the world. That's according to the first comprehensive survey published by the Varkey GEMS Foundation, which compares the status of teachers globally. In each of the 21 countries surveyed, 1,000 people are asked questions like whether or not they thought teacher earnings were fair, if they'd encourage their own children to become teachers, and whether unions had too much power. Attitudes towards teachers in China show that it's the only country where people compare teachers most closely to doctors, with the majority of countries opting for social workers, and in the case of U.S., Brazil, France, and Turkey, librarians. As for a couple of findings that we'll highlight, in all 21 countries, more than 59% of people think teachers should be paid according to student performance. By countries, attitudes averaged at 79%. Those in the U.S., Japan, Greece, and France believe unions have too much influence, while in many European countries, the majority of people support unions having a greater influence. 95% of people polled support a higher salary for teachers than they currently earn, but those in the U.S., Japan, and France think that a teacher's pay is between 6% and 55% higher than is considered fair. China was one of the countries where parents were most likely to encourage their children to become teachers. Here's what the Weibo community had to say on the issue.
I think this ranking is credible. In China, it's an old saying that the existing of teachers is similar to that of the parents. So children need to listen to what the teachers say and respect them. But with social development, I don't think the students respect their teachers the same as before. Chinese teachers do enjoy a higher social status. Have you ever heard of the gifts the students' parents send to teachers, hoping they will take care of their children at school? In my mind, China is the only one. Maybe the social status is the highest, while the teacher's ethics is the worst. The government is trying hard to improve the treatment of these teachers, but they just ignore the ethics problem of many of them. I believe this is the reason we recently heard about so many vicious incidents related to teachers. We always say the students need education, but in my mind, I think many teachers need it too. When they do the rankings, do they include teachers from rural schools in China? As far as I know, they couldn't even earn a living through the teaching job, so who cares about the social status? Yes, maybe the teachers in China enjoy the highest social status, but I think the education level in China is far behind other countries, like the U.S. I only know many parents in China are now trying hard to send their children to study in the U.S., which suggests that the teachers in China might not be so good. I don't think this ranking is true, at least it doesn't tally with my experiences. I am a teacher, but every time I go back home, my relatives never praise me and think I have a good job. All they're talking about are the public servants. But when I go to American universities, when people introduce the professors, everyone shows their respect. It's totally different.
Attitudes towards teachers in China fared well on the survey. Many Chinese parents highly value education, and those in poorer and rural areas often see it as their ticket out of poverty. Just like low-income communities in America, in China, it has become increasingly difficult to attract teacher talent in much-needed areas. An editorial by state-run media China Daily found that more than 50% of teachers work in the countryside, but the working and living conditions of teachers are particularly challenging in remote and less developed regions. A survey in 2011 revealed the incomes of new university graduates and that the salary of new teachers were among the lowest. Some in rural parts where teachers are needed most make barely the equivalent of $160 a month.